This should only take one more minute, Miss Washaki. The health inspector smoothed out the wrinkles on his ill-fitting light blue Van Heusen button-up with the hand that wasn't holding the clipboard. He didn't look much older than the kids that Jerry fed every day. The only thing preventing her from asking him for his hall pass was the defiant bramble of what could be best described as a proto-mustache that resided on his upper lip. The nervous young man fished a probe thermometer from his front pocket and speared a nearby Salisbury steak. This, appears to be close to room temp. Jerry shot back. Well, of course, hun. That's shelf-stable meat. I mean, you can practically see it self-regulate its own pH balance if you look hard enough. Jerry rolled her eyes as her patience thinned. As the man began to drone on about serve safe, it took all of Jerry's will to not scream, Danger zone? You don't know the first thing about a danger zone, dingus. Try defeating a Dybbuk while dicing dates, darling. Danger zone. Pah! This was far from Jerry's first inspection in her tenure as lead luncharian at Handfast H.H. Holmes Historic High School, which, despite the name, actually serves K-12. The town's leadership figured that while they were obligated to name the sole educational institution after the most and only notable person to be born here, they could at least find solace in alliteration. The inspector cleans and resheaths his thermometer. Well, okay, ma'am. You've passed. He tries to avoid eye contact while handing Jerry the results. But there are 2 notes at the bottom. Just things to watch out for. He was out the double door before she could clean the schmutz from her readers to check his notes. Small pool of water on the floor and dish area. Well, duh. She'd only recently fought back the killer kappa that had made its home in the floor drain. It's likely still clogged from the poisonous cucumbers she fed it. Where was her praise for that? Or, speaking of floods, how about her stemming the tide of a particularly nasty case of tween lycanthropy with her weekly well-liked Wolfsbane waffles on Wednesdays? Massaging the bridge of her nose, she reads on, and ensure food preparation spaces are thoroughly cleaned. How does she explain that of course there's a small piece of eggshell on the cutting board? You have to pulverize them, dingbat. Everybody knows devils and imps can make their home in the unsmashed halves. Try doing that with 400 of them, all while making Friday's frittatas, full of fennel to fend off phantoms there. Fancy pants. After a long moment spent fuming over the young inspector's audacity, a smile returned to Jerry's face. She balled up the paper and tossed it into a recycling bin. It didn't matter. She was doing the important work, protecting the children, the school, this town. Everything else is trivial by comparison. Anyhow, they clearly didn't send their best. She was able to explain away this morning's bloody haruspicy as prep for hot dogs. There's a reason they tell you that you don't want to see how the sausage is made, sweets. This is Jimmy Fame Presents.
Okay, I'm coming in. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Jimmy Fame Presents Bonus Against the Machine. More pod for your bod. Sponsored by Charlie the Lizard Folks, Chicken Emporium, more cluck for your buck. Yes. Yep. Only took 3 times.
You shouldn't have doubted yourself. You had it.
Slay Queen.
So, what happened last time? We started a fire, sort of. I mean, I guess the fire was started not by us, as the lyrics go. We didn't. That was not. Someone else did that. We did extinguish the fire using a little angel weirdness. It did cause some minor singeing of our local weird character, but they're fine. After that, we decided to follow the mysterious girl child who had disappeared into the woods, where we found an empty stone ring where the trail of supposed pixie dust had disappeared inside of. We poked around there for a little while, shot at some birds in theory, until the local constabulary showed up, and we lied to them and said, no, we're not doing anything here, and then went home. Also in there was a brief fight with a giant gray-skinned creature wearing a red hat and blood-stained clothing. That went okay. Everyone left a little wounded. Some left a lot wounded. Maybe some of us accidentally blew up our hands by trying to protect someone and failing, but it happens, you know. We left to treat those wounds at the school cafeteria, as one does, by dousing your hands in meatloaf. And doing a little research on that gray-skinned creature whom we found out was a red cap. We've learned that this red cap was probably sent by someone else to do their bidding, and is in town, seemingly not on his own, perhaps with this strange Fey girl who has disappeared. And that is where we are, chilling at the school in the cafeteria / haven owned by Jerry. What are you all up to? It's late. Some of you are bleeding, although less than before. You just discovered you have a red cap on your hands. What's going on?
So, point of order, I don't own it. I am very much questionably squatting. But there
I
is
should
a
have
pool.
known.
Wait, is this where Jerry lives?
No, I mean, but it's the purposeful space that I have been
Yeah.
lock and
You
key
occupy.
to. And it has like an ocular scan, like an old, and like a voice scan. It's like unnecessary level of security to get in.
Like CIA surplus.
But like from the 80s. Yes, totally. Yeah, like Cold War.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
See, I was imagining like Robinson Crusoe, like Kids Next Door-esque, just cobbled together out of kitchen stuff. So like it's like an olive with a pimento in it as the eye scan.
Cute.
Somewhere in between. But yeah, no. So I believe we had studied and then applied therapeutic meatloaf. Medicinal meatloaf?
Yeah.
It's medicinal. Yeah.
Medicinal meatloaf.
We figured out we can hurt the red cap if we can either dry the hat or destroy the hat. We figured out, Jerry figured that out. And we think it's related to the weird little kid we saw who might be a pixie.
Who can say?
Was there a reason we thought it was a pixie?
There was pixie dust.
Oh.
There
We
was
identified
supposed pixie dust.
Yeah.
Oh, was
and
it not 100% identified? Okay.
I don't think so.
Zeke with the binoculars was looking at this gal, and I think that may have been what let him do a check to think, hey, this looks Fey-like.
Yes, he did confirm. Definitely Faye. Probably Faye.
Yeah, definitely Faye. Oh, I think Don, soaking his hand in the meatloaf, will just say, so, assuming we have, at least 2 of these fairy things running around lighting fires and attacking people in the night, what do we do about it?
I'm going to jump in real quick here and say also, I forgot to mention in part of the summary that the little boy with the business card from Lee, Max, is missing.
Oh, that's right. The kid was missing. I forgot about that.
That was pretty important.
Canonically cracking a few highballs, I believe is what Sam, or like, did
tall
you say
boys.
tall boys? Tall boys, yes. Yeah. So we should find the drunk child.
I do believe that should be our first priority.
Maybe not all of us, though. You need to get back in the meatloaf and sleep.
Yeah, how's everyone looking
Yeah,
harm-wise here? I think everyone should be down to 1, which can be healed overnight if you rest.
I got 2 harm.
I'm
Ooh, 2
at
harm,
2,
nice.
but I think you said both of mine will heal overnight.
Yes.
Yeah, because we treated 1 and the other 2 will heal.
But I mean, the treatment, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to like meatloaf sideline you, but I don't even know how much can we actually do tonight.
I mean, we
It's a
rolled
school
and we
night.
treated it. We did like actual real treatment.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then the other 2 will just heal as we rest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
On what you
should-
decide to do tonight, it's kind of up to you. It is a school night. It is late.
Being that it is a school night, should we call it a night and pick it up tomorrow? Does that seem a bit laissez-faire for a missing child?
So he was he last seen where we were at the bar to our knowledge? Like we could go circle back there on our way to our respective homes and just see. Or by bar, I mean pub, family pub, restaurant.
The family tavern. Yeah. He was last seen by you all. The most recent report you got from the single cop in the place was that he went missing around 9:30. You don't know from where.
Okay.
Well, we could show up at his house because I sold his house to his family, so I presumably know where they live.
There's precedent.
You have a big key ring of everybody's house that you ever sold. Keys to the back door.
Lee doesn't really need keys.
That's fair.
But they still have them. They don't realize that that's incredibly illegal and think that that's what a realtor is supposed to do.
Oh, just in case for emergencies. Also, I'm pretty sure my landlord definitely has a key to my apartment, which I hate.
I mean, that's a landlord is different than like the
realtor.
Fair.
Lee doesn't necessarily know that.
Mm-hmm. So sleep it off.
We're all just gonna head back to our respective homes and sleep it off.
All right. Great. Well, you do that. It's a quiet night, perhaps for some of you more than others. Some of you are nursing meatloaf wounds. Others are just weird people. But you wake up the next morning. Things seem roughly the same for you. It's a beautiful day in Handfast. A child is missing. There was recently a fire. Steinfeld wrapped up 8 hours earlier.
And a jogger was accosted.
Yeah, there was that guy. Sure.
So is this a day where, like, Jerry goes back to work and we all go do our day jobs and meet up after and hope the kid's still alive? Like, how does this work out?
I feel like we would probably try to meet up in the morning, right? The less time passes, the better. Like, I know, like, at least as far as I think Don is concerned, he's gonna sleep enough to get some of his strength back in character, like out of character heal his 2 points, and then probably immediately head back to the school since he knows that's where Jerry's gonna be.
Yeah, and Jerry actually invited everyone for breakfast at the school so we could discuss, because we always, as an adventuring party, canonically decide on where we're going to meet up at a certain time and place the following day.
It's just responsible.
It goes without saying.
I mean, you all heard us do it.
That's why we've never said it before.
It's an audio record, clearly, yes. Of us never saying it before. But yeah, so they get there and it's like the normal fare of like shelf-stable Canadian bacon, of course, and shake and bake cake, which are really pancakes, but they ran out of flour, so they're using this backstock of shake and bake coating mixture as the primary starch inside.
It's a real savory kind of pancake.
Yeah, it's got a good crit.
Real crunchy flapjacks.
Yes, crunchiest flapjacks. So. So she gives you all a big pile of shelf-stable Canadian bacon and shake and bake cakes. There's probably something else on there. One of those circular eggs that's like cooked in those egg tube cookers.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah.
And a bag of milk.
Yeah.
And a bag of milk.
Of course. Yeah, and the true shout
Also
out to all of our
Canadian.
Canadian listeners. Yeah, exactly. So I could probably get someone to cover. My mechanic, he kind of owes me a favor, and he's the one I trust the most to do this. So I could go. I don't know what you guys do during the day.
I do very little during the day. Unless someone
I'm
specifically
retired,
needs
so
me.
Do you work in IT?
Yeah, I can always, like, call out sick, man. Like, the kid is out there. And we gotta find him.
Trying to imagine what you calling out sick is like. Like, I drank a whole glass of tap water. I can feel the fluoride in my brain.
Well, he's retired.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have to call out sick from anything. Although he did have to feed his chinchilla in the morning, but that's literally all he does is like sit at home and probably go on weird conspiracy websites where he runs into Zeke and just does that all day.
And takes his chinchilla for a walk.
Yeah, he's got a little heart. They probably make a chinchilla harness. I'm sure they do.
Oh, for sure.
Don't worry.
If not at a retailer on Etsy, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good idea to have your chinchilla in a leash or a harness. Apparently, is the first thing when you Google, can I
Oh,
walk
is that
my
one of those
chinchilla with
AI
a harness?
answers?
Yeah.
Or is
Well,
it
no,
a legit Google?
They literally
Oh.
don't have a sternum.
No, it'll break bones and cause damage in the ways that
Oh,
they jump
no.
around.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah, that would
harness
make
your
sense.
chinchilla, folks.
Yeah,
If
you heard
don't
it here.
do that, just get a little skateboard for it to ride on, and you can drag the
I was gonna
skateboard.
say, anytime I've
on a
seen
leash.
people with pet chinchillas, they always just do kind of keep them like they'll have like a big inside enclosure, and that apparently is why they don't have anything you can attach that to. This whole area is just like loose.
Just a goopy rodent. No bones.
I didn't realize chinchillas didn't have bones, but man, you learn something every
It's a
day.
theme in our podcast.
They'd make a great animal companion.
Everybody's interesting fact: chinchillas don't have rib cages.
All right. Well, sounds like we're all free for
Back
the
at
day.
the farm.
I like to think that when we have those conversations, we focus back in on the characters and we're saying the exact same thing in character. Because it does seem not that unreasonable for us to be like, can you even put
and
one
I
of
was-
those on a harness?
Yeah, no, you can't. They're missing a lot of bones. It won't work right.
Hold on, I might have some shelf-stable chinchilla we can actually test. I'm kidding.
It's called Kui in Ecuador.
Oh. That's the noise I would make if I saw it, too.
They're adorable animals.
Very cute.
Really cute. Thanks for tuning into Chinchilla Cast. Good night, everyone. I'm going to bed.
Okay, yeah, so everybody except Jerry has the day free then, or actually, let me ask. So, can you get off work? Can somebody else feed the rest of these kids while we go look for the missing one?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I texted Merle. I'm sure he's on his way over. Like I told you, he's my mechanic. He's a solid guy. He can keep my car running. He can feed these kids. It's fair metric.
Just like my
Anybody
grandmother
who's-
used to say.
Exactly. Right. And I assume he probably shows up shortly thereafter. So I can leave.
All right, where are you headed?
Where would a drunk kid go?
I know where
could.
I'd go, and that is to the shame corner because Kui is actually a guinea pig, not chinchilla.
Oh,
My condolences to all of the fans who used to trust me.
Sorry,
Both of you.
It's because I posted that picture of the guinea pig. I caused this.
We're really going to plummet down the Chinchilla podcast ratings now. But,
Do we want to go back to that section of the woods now that it's daytime and see if we can see anything there?
I think that honestly.
We really don't have any other leads, right?
you have, like I said, you know the last people who saw the kid was his parents, but you don't know anything else about them.
Yeah.
You do presumably know where they live because Lee is a creep.
to the Tilly residence.
We could split up. We could do a parents standing stones A-team, B-team.
Okay. Well, probably we should have Jerry go talk to the parents, since technically she works for the school. And maybe Lee, since you said you know him, right? You sold him their house?
Yes, I definitely sold them their house and will be selling them their next house as soon as they're ready to buy another house. So you can never have too many houses.
One house good, two houses
It's a
better.
monopoly.
Lee gives Don a business card.
Yeah, because I have like -1 charm. I don't know how much I do like the idea that it's like, don't worry, the school system sent me out. I'm a culinary specialist, and
We
I'm here to talk to you
preemptively
about your
thought
son.
you weren't going to be there for lunch, so here I am.
Yeah, I also have -1 charm.
No, this is cool. Let's go talk to the parents. Why do
Yeah,
we
I've
have to
got
be
+1.
strategic all the time? You and I feel like Jerry and Lee have the relationship of like, I have to go and make sure he doesn't do the eye thing.
Do the eye thing.
Forgot about the eyes.
Good. Flashes the little Men in Black thing in front of you. Lee is normal.
Well, even though
Nice.
I am like pretty good at talking to people, I could just go look at rocks with you, Don. Like, that's cool too.
I mean, it's up to you. Maybe you should go with Jerry then, and Lee can come with me.
I am fine with that. If that killer thing comes back, I may be better prepared to deal with it than most of you. You people do seem to be injurable in a non-insulting way.
Yeah, don't forget your like that solar-powered hair dryer or something to really, or a heat gun to get that cap.
Hand fan.
Hold on. Drying your hat. Wait.
I think Don will bring like a kitchen towel from the school, like if they have like one of those ones that are like that material that like soaks up like way crazy a lot of
Wicking
like
out.
liquid, like when they have like big spills.
Starch.
You know what Jerry probably has tons of?
litter?
Desiccant packets.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I normally save them for myself as a treat, but I could probably spare a few. But,
Do not eat those.
Don't eat those. They specifically say, do not eat, not to hide their flavors.
It's not a
I've planted
trick.
that seed in my head.
Yeah, so we'll take a handful of that, or just like a bag full of like that, or sawdust, or
I
anything
was
that
going to
she's
recommend
got for like cleaning up.
cornstarch, or like some
Yeah.
other, like anything that'll just like make it real gummy and dry and gross immediately.
I mean, yeah, you work in a school cafeteria, you gotta have stuff like, especially with all that shelf-stable food you're giving these kids.
No, I mean all the blood, the specific blood cleanup experience that I have. I am acutely, specifically designed for this task. Here you go. It's agar-agar. Throw it at it.
We just have like a gallon-sized Ziploc bag full of agar-agar, desiccant packets, and sawdust.
You have a blood aspect part 2.
Yes.
Really tie the pods together.
Cornstarch Boogaloo.
I believe we've constructed the ultimate weapon for defeating redcaps.
I'm just imagining a Home Alone situation of like, just get him to open this door, and then a whole paint bucket full of cornstarch will fall on his head.
Easy peasy.
Trick them into one of those over-the-top hairdryer chairs that are at the salon. Give them a really good magazine. We should really probably go. We're 25 minutes in, and about 7 minutes of this is usable. So, just be safe if you're going in there. Don't just, go through a door that may exist. Please.
No doors. I understand. I guess it's time to split up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's going where?
I guess Lee and Don will get into his little K-van and head on back to the woods.
All right, that gives us Zeke and Jerry at the Tilly residence.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Let's resolve that first, because I have a better idea of how that will go, sort of. So you show up to this beautiful 2-story Victorian something or other house. It's a home. Those are the only words I know to use to describe it. Mid-century, possibly. Modern Gothic residence. Where there is a single police car parked outside, and everything else looks pretty normal. Just a regular house. It's got peonies, and that's it.
Wow.
Seems like a regular place. There's just peonies in the yard.
I can see why Lee was able to sell this one, man. The architecture is so distinct.
It's like 4 different kinds of things.
It's like the Tudor crossbeams with the grotesque and gargoyles on there, the very large pillars.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess we know that Turner is here, the only policeman in town. So here we go.
It's just like the time that we had to console that shaman after we had accidentally sacrificed the wrong person in the Fright Finders. Do you remember that? We're actually outside of the NDA, so we can talk about it openly.
I still don't feel comfortable talking about it though, but you're right. We can do this. So I guess we'll just walk up to the door, a school lunch lady at breakfast time, and some weirdo who works at the local library.
And then I assume you'll knock on the door. I don't want to make assumptions. I don't want to railroad you guys.
No, just stand outside the door.
Yeah.
Just casually let the air out of all of the cop car's tires.
I think as you're standing at the door opens, and you see Ed Turner come out. And he looks a little surprised to see you guys. He's like, well, good morning then. What are y'all doing here?
Good morning, officer. Just a couple local concerned citizens, just wondering if you were here because you brought back Max and it's like a good news parade, or what's going on?
Ah, well, shucks, afraid I'm not hearing any good news, just chatting with the Tillies. The Chiltons are in there too, Now, wait, I should not be telling you any of this. No, we did not find a child, and it's very suspicious that you're here.
I don't know what's suspicious about people caring. That kind of says a lot more about you than it does about me, if we could just be honest with one another.
Well, if we're being honest, I guess I don't take kindly to being assumed that I'm not an honest person. So stick it in your cap and smoke it. And he will depart down the porch and go ahead and go. He's done here now. He's done his job.
Oh yes, with aplomb.
So you are still standing on the porch. The door is open. And you see a woman walk by. She has short hair. She's very tall, a slender woman. She looks just exhausted. and real anxious, and she looks and sees you outside. And she's like, what are you doing here?
Hey, no, Miss Tilly?
Yes?
Yeah, we were over, we saw your family at the tavern yesterday, and it just really shook us up that we saw Max in the evening, and then we heard that, at some point he's gone, and we just wanted to know if you heard anything, if there's anything we can do to help.
Of course I didn't hear anything. I wouldn't be here if I had. One minute he's there, the next he's gone. I don't know what to think. Do you have any information? Is that why you're here?
Actually, the school requires us to bring you a breakfast when you're mourning. It's a bagel bite bouquet. It's really just bagel bites.
Max loves bagel bites.
I'm sorry. It's
She's
standard.
weeping openly.
You could have
Roll
pizza
me-
any time.
Roll me and manipulate someone, and one of you can manipulate, one can help if you like.
You can do the manipulation. I will maybe assist.
Right on.
So manipulate someone is plus charm, and then help is plus cool. That's an 8 on the manipulate somebody roll, and a 10 on the help roll. So that brings us to a 9 total on manipulate. That's a partial success or a mixed success. Let's see. On a 7 to 9, they'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now. Now, I'm assuming you haven't actually asked for anything. This was a slightly premature roll on my part. But let's say that she'll kind of look at you suspiciously for a moment and be like, bagel bites, huh? Well, I suppose you better come in. And we'll step aside to let you in. So you follow into the house. It's still beautiful Victorian and also mid-century modern and Gothic architecture. And she has a variety of decorations up. You can't tell what season it is. I mean, it's like June, but she's got Halloween stuff up. She's got Christmas stuff up. It seems eclectic. It's weird.
Classic June-to-Bember decorations,
June-to-Bember.
if I've ever seen them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Do
the
you have a base
Tobe
for
for
this?
October.
Oh, the
Yeah.
tube.
June-Tobe Ember. Yeah,
I love it.
it's pretty niche. Got a cult following though, and maybe that's a clue. Maybe she's in a cult. No, we follow Mrs. T, and maybe while we're walking in, Zeke would just ask, like, you said 1 minute he's there, and then the next minute he's gone. Where was that? Were you guys just here at home eating bagel bites? Because you can have them
Max
in the
loves
evening.
bagel bites. And
I
you can have them
know.
anytime.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we had just put him to bed. Max likes to stay out late with us most nights, drinking those tall boys. We fill them with juice. He doesn't know. And we had just put him to bed. We came down here to play a little Scrabble. I went to go check on him right before we went to sleep, and he was gone. We called the police right away, and they showed up and looked around, but they didn't say they could find anything. And I don't know. And she leads you into a kitchen. You think it's a kitchen because it has an oven and a refrigerator and a sign on the wall that says, "This is the kitchen. Live, laugh, love." And also...
But also a toilet and the washing
bathtub.
machine.
There are 3 other people in the room all sitting at the table drinking coffee. A man who is in his late 40s and wearing an apron and doing one of these things. And for those of you at home, he looks stressed out. And then there are 2 other people, both in their mid to late 60s, 70s, who are there in regular street person clothes, just being normal. And all of them are sitting around. They all look up at you. And then the man stands up and says, "Honey, we have more visitors?" And the wife, who is played by me, says, yes, they said they came to, I don't know, spread concern. They just wanted to hear more about Max. I didn't know what to tell them, but they brought bagel bites, so they're Max's favorite. I just thought that maybe with his favorite foods we could summon him back. And the woman at the table says, yes, I remember that. Doesn't work. Nothing ever works. I'm so sorry for your loss. And then none of them say anything, and they wait in silence for one of you to talk.
Sorry for your loss. That's weird. Because nothing's been confirmed, right? Like, he's just gone.
Yeah, you sound like you're speaking from a place of experience. If you don't mind me asking, have you lost a little one?
And the woman sort of looks down at her coffee and looks back up. Of course, 40 years ago, nearly to the day now, is my little Violet was taken. I still carry this picture with her, mostly of. And she looks teary, and the woman who answered the door looks teary, and they go together and embrace. The other man at the table says, "We'll be going now. We just wanted to come and see how you were doing. I'm so sorry, but please, if there's anything we can do, let us know." And the woman says, "Thank you so much." Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. Same question. Those of you who were normally in our Foundry tier but get to be in the Roll20, since we're doing this, would know that Zach and I were on the same page, and just wanted to ask before, presumably Mrs. Chilton leaves, could we see that picture of Violet? I know it's like really emotional, but you just never know.
Sure, of course. I keep it right here with me, and she'll take out like a wallet and pull out this like very well creased Polaroid she has. It looks like about 40 years old. It looks like something that it was from like the 80s. Yeah. And you pull out a picture, and she pulls out a picture and hands it to you, and it's just a little girl with dark hair. Looks fairly unremarkable. It's a child, being a child. She looks maybe 2 or 3 years old. She's standing with the two people you can see in front of her, right? Right. There's 2 people you can see in front of you right now, the man and the woman at the table.
Jeff, the player, was like, it's the girl, the Fae. And he's wrong. Probably. So yeah, Zeke would just look and kind of show it to Jerry and be like, "Oh man, it's so sad."
She looks so much like my niece. Do you mind if I'm so bad with these smart phones. I have dumb thumbs. And she takes a photo of the photo. Just because she feels it's prudent. Thank you.
Of course. She turns back to the man and the woman who are now still standing there and says, "Come on, John, we should go. Let's get out of these lovely people's hair. There's nothing more we can do for them right now." And they will make their way out, unless you have any other questions for them.
No, farewell to Paris Chilton.
The couple leaves. You are there alone with the woman and the man. I think, you don't know either of their names yet, but you can assume that they are Max's parents.
Goofy and Clarabelle.
They seem nice. How did you meet them?
Oh, well, everyone knows everyone here, except for you all, I guess. but they just came by after... Well, they lost their daughter so young, and I think they were just trying to help. Poor things. They must have gone through so much.
Mr. and Mrs. T, I know we're not, like, super close friends, and you're kind of weirded out that we're even here, but we really just want to help. Can I ask us, like, the craziest question, and, like, can we just see Max's room, since that's where you last saw him? I totally respect Ed Turner and all, but, like, maybe he missed something. I read a lot, so, you know, like, as a librarian, I'm basically like a detective and kind of like an American Doctor Who. Some, like, 9 people thought that was great. And I'll just stop being awkward and roll to manipulate someone. Probably need to, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Hey.
Box cars, listeners.
That's going to be a 12, which is a complete success. So this woman looks at you and says, and looks a little bit taken aback, but is, sure. I mean, Ed is, well, he does his best, doesn't he? Yes, right this way. Did you want any coffee? I'm afraid it's just the, what are those called? French press. Our coffee machine seems to have broken overnight. It's the strangest thing.
I have some experience with kitchen equipment. Do you mind if I take a look while maybe you fix me a coffee, Zeke?
Sure, of course. Since you're here, do you want to take a look at the refrigerator and the oven too? Those have also seemed to fizzle out last night, but of course we've had other things on our mind, so... But yes, the coffee pot's over there. She gestures to a coffee pot on the corner. There's a refrigerator next to it and an oven. The toilet is still working. It's in the kitchen, but it's working.
So that's where the water for the French press came from.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate.
Just the tank at the top, the clean part.
If you want to examine any of those things, you can investigate a mystery for me.
I want to investigate that mystery so bad. What sort of roll is that? That is sharp.
Sharp.
Oh, not very good.
I actually...
Ooh, not ideal.
I think that is a below... That's enough to get a point, right?
Yeah, that's... go ahead and take experience. That's
Yeah.
a 6. That's going to be a... What do they call that? A not success? A failure?
Failure. Yeah.
So you examine these things, and they're definitely not working. You're kind of poking around for a little bit, and you see them all. Yeah, it's similar to what we've seen before with other people's appliances. You've heard around town now people's appliances are sort of dying, which is weird, but you don't notice any immediate patterns.
I have to imagine I probably break the toilet too with that roll. One working appliance.
Unfortunately, there's just a flow of water shoots into the air and douses you all, and now you're covered in toilet water. You've made things worse.
No, Zeke's canonically going towards Max's room and is not wet.
Okay, great. Zeke is okay. Everyone else, very damp.
So while they mop up that situation, what's Max's room like? Does he have any like dope posters?
It's got a Thomas the Tank Engine poster, and also did the kids still... I feel like I see memes. Maybe that's from like other millennials. It's got a Bluey poster. There we go. It's got a Bluey poster in there.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
15.
Otherwise, unremarkable. There's a little bed. It's shaped like not a race car, because that's boring. It's shaped like a dragon. And there are toys all over the place. Max's mom like leads you to the room and then leaves. She's I can't bear to look at it right now. Excuse me, please. The toilet's overflowing, and we'll leave you to examine the room on your own.
And that sounds investigate a mystery-ish.
Please do. Hey, rolling
Roll
hot
20
tonight.
likes being a night. That's weird.
That's going to be 11. That's a full success. On a full success for investigate a mystery, you can hold 2 and ask 2 questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here?
I think the place to start is what happened here.
So you walk in and are examining this room to try and see what happened. As far as you know, they put Max to bed, and then some amount of time later, he was gone, missing from the room. So you're looking around, you poke around the bed, you poke around the window. There is one other entrance into the room that is a window. And you see that faint glimmer that you had seen that you recognized before in the copse of trees last night. It's looking an awful lot like that supposed pixie dust. And in fact, I will say on an 11, having seen this a second time, you're feeling pretty sure it's some sort of fairy dust. This is definitely some fae activity. You think that maybe someone was here, possibly that girl, and maybe she had something to do with Max's disappearance.
Ooh. Hate it. Gang, I'm kind of torn between where did it go and what is being concealed here. Leaning more towards where did it go?
I think it comes down to the limits of that. Because if it's like out the window,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
like if it gives you a track all the way back to like, I don't know how that necessarily gets ruled by the keeper because the ladder seems a little bit kind of but it also just, I feel like that's one that we hit on a lot. We're always like, what is being concealed here when we generally roll these because it's a good question. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of the catch-all for what have I missed?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. What information do I need, GM?
Tell me the thing I should know now, please.
It is very much like that.
But it still sounds like probably the best one to ask in this moment. So, what is being concealed here?
As you're looking around the room trying to understand what has happened, you have a sense that someone, maybe this girl, was here. You've seen this pixie dust again. You do indeed see it going out the window, just right over the edge. And as you go to inspect that, you see a little plastic bracelet, sort of like those gummy ones, again from like the 80s. And it's got a letter V on it.
Oh no, I was right, wrong, right.
That's being concealed. You found a bracelet.
Oh, snap. Or it's the same shenanigans, people who took Violet, and it's not Violet, but they carry these stupid trinkets as trophies. I don't know. I'm gonna stop speculating. Probably not. Zeke would go downstairs and kind of close the door behind him, I guess, since it's hard on his parents to see it. And emerge into what I imagine is like that GIF from Community where everything's on fire, except instead it's everything's like underwater and maybe also on fire. Who could say? I'm not going to take your job away of describing things, but it sounds like it's going to be great, and it probably smells good too.
Yeah, it's full of toilet water in there. It's not great. The toilet water has stopped shooting into the air, though, so there's that. And it looks like you managed some coffee, although how much of it is coffee and how much of it is toilet water is unclear. I think we're going to leave it there for now and cut over to our tree cops. Who is Dawn and Lee. Don and Lee. You've taken Don's car, I believe, to the copse of trees.
Yes. Does Lee even have a car? I don't know if Lee has a car.
No, Lee does not have a car.
Yeah. Yeah, so we took Don's little K-van.
And you're looking for the same stone circle you found last night, right?
Yeah.
Mini
We're
golf
hoping
course.
that
It is
we'll be
around,
able
the golf
to
course is nearby.
find it. Yeah. Because we should be able to see, like, the damage from the fire and like, we should be able to figure out kind of where we were, right? I'm assuming that'll be...
Yeah, funny thing about that is, as you're looking for it by the light of day, everything is much harder to find. You swear you're over near where the damage was, and in fact, you can see a partially burned tree, and, the grass is sort of singed where the fire touched down. But without that trail of fairy dust, you're having trouble finding it. What are you gonna do?
That'd be... Try to roll to investigate a mystery, maybe? Try to figure out... Would that be investigate?
I
I feel like that'd be investigate, right?
I'm gonna say, let's call it where is it? Act under pressure.
Act under pressure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To find this stone circle.
That's a plus cool. That's not one of the ones that I have that I can ignore cool and roll a different thing, is it? No, it's not. Okay, so Don's gonna be rolling this with a -1, which is
Exciting times.
real
Lee, do you want to help out?
interesting when I got
That
to
always
try to
goes
get
well.
Yeah, I could roll a help action for you.
Yeah, I think he'll say, Lee, you, I probably imagined it yesterday, but you seemed like you have some, interesting eyes. Maybe you can help try to figure out where we were last night.
I have a normal number of eyes, but I will use all of them to investigate. No, I
That
won't.
is not a great roll. So that was a 6 on the dice, with my -1 to my cool is a 5.
Yeah.
And it sounds like maybe Lee's
I got
help was also not great.
6 on the dice plus 1 for cool, so 7, which is a mixed success on the help. I don't know what
All
that
right.
gives you.
Let's see. Which one should we resolve first? I think you're both kind of just keeping an eye out looking for this path. You don't quite find it on a act under pressure. Let's see. Yeah, it just says things get worse. So, as you're looking for this, let's resolve the
We
help
somehow
first.
light another fire.
Right, you've started another fire. Your angel water body can't put it out. We tried to help. It's 7 through 9, which means, where is it? They'll do it, but no, that's the wrong one. Ignore that.
Expose yourself to trouble or danger.
Yes, expose yourself to trouble or danger. Great, thank you. So I think that's true for both of you. As you're looking
To a
around,
6, yeah.
as you're looking around, you just can't find it. You just get deeper and deeper into the woods. You're not able to find it. It's been at least an hour now. You still haven't found it. You feel like you should have found it. Like it's almost like there's something concealing it from you. Like for some reason you're not able to find it. But what you do find is, as you're looking, you hear a voice from behind you saying, "Hello, who are you?"
Don will immediately spin around to see who this is. He is probably very jumpy after last night, too.
Does Don draw his gun?
No, he doesn't, because the only one he has left is his one in his ankle holster, and he's going to end up breaking a hip if he tries to spin around and grab that one.
You gotta do kind of a kick. So yeah, you turn around and you see that same little girl from last night. She's just standing there watching you. And as you turn to see her, she's like, "Oh, you were here last night. You all saw the fire."
We did. We did see the fire. What, did we also see you?
And she kind of giggles at that. "Of course you did. I was there, wasn't I?"
I I wasn't sure. I'm very bad with faces. Hello, I'm Lee.
Hello, I'm Violet.
Hi, Violet. I'm Ralph. It's nice to meet you. So you were here last night, right? We saw you before... Well, the rain did something strange, and then there was a fire. You didn't have anything to do with that, did you?
Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by that. I didn't cause it directly. I can't do that. But I sure do make fun things happen around here. Haven't you noticed?
Well, I don't know how fun some of the things that have been happening are. Stuff's breaking, people have gotten hurt. There's a little boy missing. You don't know anything about that, do you?
She giggles again and says, maybe.
I think this is the one that I do actually have a thing for. I think I can roll to talk to somebody and use sharp instead of charm. Let me find it.
Don't you have a thing where you know if they're lying?
I also automatically know if people are lying to me.
Yeah, you think she's
mind. If someone lies to you, you know it.
You think she's lying.
Yeah.
She definitely knows where this kid is.
Yeah, and then the other one I have is See It All Fits Together, which is one that lets me use sharp instead of charm. So he knows that she's not telling the truth. If I'm using manipulate someone action.
Got it. Okay.
Which he doesn't really want to manipulate. He wants to more kind of... But that would be kind of... So actually he is going to try to do that. He's going to try to basically talk her, like get her to admit that what she's doing isn't fun, which is, I'm assuming, what the lie is, or something about that. Or is it that she doesn't know where the kid is, which raised his
she's
red
lying.
flags.
She doesn't know where the kid is.
Okay. So he's going to say, what was Tilton's first name again?
Which one? Violet? There was we talked to a woman whose name we didn't get. We talked to her husband whose name was John, and then Violet is...
No, the son,
the Max.
Actual missing one.
Oh, the kid,
Max. I wanted to say Michael, and I, for some reason... Where are my notes on this? Okay, yeah, it is Max, not Michael. I don't know why I wanted to say Michael. Yeah, so he's gonna kind of smile at this girl. He's gonna kind of painfully get down on his knees, so he's kind of more eye level with her. His sunglasses at her, and he just says, so, you said you haven't seen the kid that went missing, little Max, and he's gonna pull out one of Max's business cards and say, are you sure? Because I think you have seen him. You sure you don't recognize this card or anything like that?
She'll take the card and flip it over in her hands and be like, this is nice. Did you make this?
No, Max made it.
Oh.
Very, very handy kid, very talented.
He is.
That's why, well, that's not the only reason why, but it's one of the reasons why everybody's looking for him. He's, can't let a talent like that go to waste.
Well, that's what Oberon says, too.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Knowledge nature.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, like, Dot is a conspiracy, but he's more like Black Helicopters and Men in Black type conspiracy. Like, I don't know how much he would recognize the name of the Fairy King. Like, but I think he's gonna try, like, a manipulate role. Like, I'm just trying to think, like, if he can think of, like, a track of thought with what he's heard from her to maybe try and get her to say a little more about Max. Like, so he sees that she's interested in him being, like, artistic and her saying like that this Oberon person is interested in him, so maybe he'll go down that kind of track and say like, well, yeah, he's... People like that, people that have talent, are very important and very appreciated, and, you know, the town would be worse off if we couldn't find Max or he didn't come back. So are you sure you don't know anything about where he is? And he's gonna make a... Can he make a roll on that, or
Yeah,
no?
go for it.
Is that... Okay. Ooh, awesome. Okay, so that is a 10.
Nice. So on 10 plus, they'll do it for the reason you gave them, and it in this case being, it sounds like, tell them where Max is, or at least what she knows.
Yeah, what she knows about him.
Okay. Well, I don't think Oberon would like that very much, but well, I like keeping secrets. Can you keep secrets?
Oh, I'm very good at keeping secrets.
Oh, good. Yeah. Max went to Oberon's kingdom. You know, your town didn't do a very good job of holding up their end of the bargain. That's why we had to take him.
What bargain was that? I've never heard about any bargain with Oberon.
Well, of course there was. How do you think your town has gotten so far? You have crops and tourism and a park and, you know, a McDonald's, a legally distinct McDonald's.
McDowell's.
And real estate.
And real estate.
Yeah, I think he'll actually look over to Lee, who to him seems to be much more on the kind of magical side of things.
Yeah,
and say,
I'll go over it.
Does any of this make any sense to you? Have you heard about any of this?
Can I roll, like, investigate a mystery to see what Lee might know as a non-human entity about this whole deal?
Yeah, I'll let you do that.
All right. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. Lee gets a 6.
Ooh,
So-
Lee's having a rough night.
On the plus side, that is a level up.
Hey, I will let you do that now while we discuss what happens. A 6 gets you no questions. She just sort of looks at you. You're weird.
I am actually quite normal. This has all been very carefully calibrated to be normal. I could say that you are weird.
Well, that wouldn't be very nice at all.
Well, I didn't say it. I said that I could say it.
I guess that's true. Anyway, I think you guys should get out of here. It's not safe for you.
But it's safe for you.
Of course.
Well, what's going to happen to us if we stay here?
And she's quiet for a second and sort of cocks her head like she's listening for something. I think my friend's gonna get upset.
Is your friend big and tall and behatted?
And she kind of giggles at that again and she's like, oh, you've met him. Great. I hate introductions.
Yeah, we had a nice chat last night. I think your friend, would like us just fine.
Do you? Well, that's good because he's on his way. Sure enough, you can like hear a sort of like a stomping coming up somewhere close, and you hear this voice, Violet, it's time to go. Oh, we should go. Bye. And she'll
Can we
start
go
to
with
turn
you
and go.
to Max?
Well, Max belongs to Oberon now.
Could we maybe trade something for him?
I don't know. I guess you'd have to ask Oberon about that. And as she's saying this giant creature that you saw last night emerges from the woods, sees you both, and smiles, and is like, oh. Here to play again, huh?
Lee smiles and waves. Hello.
And
John takes a step back to be kind of halfway behind Lee.
Violet looks over at this giant thing, which you've identified as a red cat, and says, "Bone Crusher, we should go." And apparently Bone Crusher says, "Not yet, I have unfinished business here." And Violet shrugs and says, "Okay, bye," and starts to leave. And Bone Crusher turns to you all, says, "Rematch." And that is where we will end for tonight.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bone Crusher is ready.
See, you went to Bonesaw. I went to the, does anyone remember the rapper Bone Crusher with the song Never Scared from the mid 2000s? I'm going to put this in the...
Ring a bell. Yeah.
Good night, Izzy.
Good night, Izzy.
Good night, Izzy.
Good night, Bone Crusher.
All right,
Good
Bone
night, Bone
Crusher.
Crusher.
Good
Good
Bone
night,
Crusher.
Bone Crusher in harmony.
People don't know this song, where Bone Crusher is a literal giant monster in this video, walking around crushing things, but also saying that he's never scared. I mean, the general theme of the song isn't very good. I believe it is, "I'm outside of the club and you think I'm a punk, so I'm going to shoot you with a gun that I have in my trunk," or something along those lines. So it's not, but the video itself, the reason why I know is because, T.I. has been around forever. If you've ever gone down, down, baby, your street in a Range Rover, you've probably listened to Problematic T.I. And Killer Mike is actually good.
Oh, that's right. I soaked my hand in ham.
And Meatloaf.
Or no, the meatloaf. Yeah, not the ham.
Yeah, the ham is your skin graft. The meatloaf was your relief.
Gross.
After the graft, you can refer to it as your hammed instead of your...
Yes.
Glad we got that on recording.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, clap.
You spoke over the clap.
I know, that wasn't even a good clap. I had the worst clap. I should just be kicked off the show.
At least you had a ham clap.
Mm-hmm.
All
Are those
right.
hams steamed? Sorry.
Oh, JK. No, it's fine. I've done the same thing to you approx 2 billion times, and we don't even have that many episodes.
Yeah, if you don't stop us, we'll just be spiral hammed.
The ham
This is all great. Let's keep it all in.
Further down the ham spiral.